Hello everyone, this is Bradley. So last time we done kind of bug fixation into all this kind of curvature kind of stuff. And this time I think I will just go to the real topic to make the interaction between all these splines and the outer sphere. Let's get a very brief overview about how to make the interaction between the splines and the outer sphere. The concept idea is actually very simple. I'm just going to make a falloff for all these splines and use the falloff to define which region of this sphere should glow with a specific color. A falloff is basically a space to define a specific action. For example, if you're in America, then you have to obey American's law. But if you're in Europe, you have to obey the European law, which might be different from American law. This is the concept of falloff. And the way to change the colors on the sphere is to use a node which is called UV map data output. I think this is a part of extra node, so you have to download the extra node in addition to the original animation node pack. You can download the extra nodes from the link in the description, but because it also includes the original animation node, so what you have to manually uninstall your animation node and go to edit preference to install the new package that you downloaded. And that's the idea. So let's start. And yes, I think that's it. So let's start. So firstly, I'm going to output a spline list. And then I'm going to take a spline file. And I'm going to change the max to add because I have multiple splines. And all of them should work for this function. Then I need a evaluate file. And change everything into location. Now the issue comes is what location should it be? If you are going to think about UV editing, then we have all these vertices which construct the faces within this UV map. And these are the locations that we are going to define. And also because we're going to change the UV map data eventually, it would be better. It will actually cause us a lot of problems later on. So to avoid all the problems, I'm also too lazy to describe all these problems. We are going to duplicate this. Just shift D and I'll name that interaction order. So that even if we change the UV of this sphere, it will not affect our original sphere. And you will see what kind of problem it created later. And then I need the data of all these vertex. So I need the object mesh data. Another thing is that because we need all these points to construct the faces, we need to separate the polygons. And I hit U, goes to socket settings, and turn on the polygon indices. So I select the interaction order, and it goes to vertices. So what it does is basically just separates all these polygons, and these vertices will be 2 instead of 1. So originally we have around 500 vertices, but now it turns to be 2000 vertices, even 4 times about that. Kind of ideas. Then I'm going to put these vertices into location, and then put the strengths to these X and Y data. You can see if I turn on this UV map, you can see everything has been distorted because our original shader was using the UV map output. So now it has been distorted. That's why I have to duplicate that instead of using our original shader. I think this part is done. So let's go to shader. I'm going to create another shader. So just duplicate that and call it interruption. And I don't need all these things again. I'm both basically construct the entire new thing. So I'm going to turn on a mix shader, goes to surface, and emission. Also a transparent. So the emission goes and transparent. I'll put the emission to red. Also a UV map, no, a texture coordinate. I don't know if you actually can use the UV map, but maybe or maybe not. I don't know. I think it's possible. We will see. Let's just try. So gradient texture. So put this UV into colors, and I'm going to make it a color ramp. For a better ease, I'll probably just change that to easing, and the color goes to factor. So now I have a black and white data. Now we don't really see anything. It's because the size of this falloff is actually too large. It basically turns everything into transparent. So just decreasing the size, 0.1, still too large. Okay. Just choose a number you like. I think we made some mistakes. I think we need to reverse it. Do we? Just to take a look. Just to try. Yeah, I think this is the correct way. And then decrease the number. So I think this part is basically done. Another thing you realize, there is some part which, yeah, it's so if you're looking at the backside, it does not show the red, but if you goes to the backside, it also shows red. It's just a issue with the texturing. Maybe you need to turn on the back facing. Oh, I realized if we want to show all these red dots, then you just turn on the back face just turn off the back face curling. Another thing is you can see the surface is a lot of jaggies. I think it's a issue that you have too few polygons. So if you increase the amount of vertices, the resolution will be increased as well. This is it. So just to take a look whether the UV map also works or not. Oh, it looks like working. So you don't need the texture coordinate. You can just use the UV map. This is the basic concept. And if you just alter, then you just add alter. To prevent Z fighting, you probably just shrink the size of the inner sphere just a little bit. I think it will be fine. Now here's the issue. In this animation, because everything is procedural, so just to take a look how procedural this is. So let's take this order into control. So if I'm going to enlarge that, you can see all these lines also enlarge with that. But of course, the problem is the interaction order is not enlarged with that. To solve this problem, it's very easy. Just parent them together. So now if I'm enlarge this order, then everything has been enlarged. The interaction also has been enlarged. Then it solves the problem. So this is basically done. You basically just need to do the same thing for the inner sphere as well, like duplicate for an interaction inner and so on and so forth. One thing you have to realize is because inner sphere is much smaller than the outer sphere, so this width needs to be even smaller for the inner sphere. And other than that, there's no other issues. It's basically done. A follow-up question is that possible to actually make all this red stuff the color corresponding to all these kind of things? Currently, I have no idea about doing that. I don't have any clues about how to do this. I think this is almost impossible. because the way we achieve different colors are completely different. But if you just want a random color, regardless whether it corresponds to the color of splines or not, it's very easy just to make a noise. I think it's very easy just to make a noise texture, and then it will be sufficient enough. And the kind of color ramp, I think I'm not going to do that at this moment. But you can definitely work with all these things by yourself, and so on. So I think I will just finish here. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll probably see you next time. Bye bye.